What up, guys? What up? What up? I am Blue. We're going to be talking about today, guys, about don't learn too much code. So, what does that mean, don't learn too much code? Like, what the hell am I talking about? Don't we need to be learning, right? We should be learning, right? Well, why would I tell y'all don't learn too much code? But before we get started, guys, if you could give me a follow, give me a like, guys, I appreciate it. And again, hit that follow and hit that like. So now let's get started. So whenever I say don't learn too much code, what I mean by that is when you're new, right? When you're brand new and you're trying to get your foot in the door, you want to learn, you want to become a programmer. I think what happens a lot of the times is we just learn too many tutorials, right? We just start coding projects of just randomness, whether it be some sort of, it's always like generic stuff that's always repeat itself, right? Whether it be a tic-tac-toe game, whether it be a calculator, whether it be, things of that nature where um, it's not really solving a problem. It's just more, you're just doing it because those are the tutorials that are out there and you follow the tutorials. Um, but again, I think it's kind of, I don't think it's that good either, right? It's kind of like, you know, if you're a boxer and you're training, you go to the gym and you're training, right? You're hitting the bag and you're kind of learning all the techniques, but you don't ever go fight. You have to go out there and go fight. That's where you really will be able to tell how good your technique is and your conditioning and things of that nature, right? So when it comes to programming, I know a lot of the time it's like, well, I don't have a job, right? I don't work at a company, so I can't really build on my skills at a company. Um, but nevertheless, though, find stuff that you could do. Like as you learn, try to find ways. How do I utilize what I learned? Right? Like when maybe it's a project, internal project. Like maybe you have an idea. I want to build this SaaS platform, for example. Maybe that's what it is. So if that's the case, how do you build? Like how can you build, that idea as you're learning? Maybe you work for a company already today. Like you're not a software developer for the company. Maybe you're, a data analyst, or maybe you're in sales or some kind of other department. Look for ways, man. Like there's always ways where you can start thinking like, man, I uh, I'm a data analyst, for example, and I had to communicate with some of the sales reps, and it'll be cool. We had a tool where they could like log in their information or keep track of their status of issues or something like that, because maybe you don't have nothing like that. You know what? That's an idea. You could like try to build something. And don't, here's the thing. I know, and I'm speaking more from a sense of because you're learning, right? You're in the learning phase. Um, don't ask for permission, man. Just build it. I have been in that position in the past where I worked for a company. I was not in IT. This is years back. I wasn't in IT. We kind of, but the department that I was in, we were part of the shared service department, and we helped. We did a lot of like process engineering, reverse engineering, things of that nature. But it was more like process flow. So we dealt very heavy on that, and also with database with data and stuff. But I wasn't a software developer, and what I did one day, I decided to, I'm just gonna build an app, and I built it. I didn't have permission. I just built it, and on top of that, after I built it, I showed them. They're like, "Dude, this is awesome," and we used it in the process. And next thing you know it, I started doing more of that kind of work, and eventually got my foot in the door, and you know, that's kind of where kind of forced my way in there, right? Sometimes you got to do that, right? Sometimes doors may not be open, or nobody may be giving you a chance, type deal. So if you can, where you work at today, figure out ways, man. Get some ideas, like, oh man, you know what? I could automate this task that I'm doing. Maybe do a lot of data entry. Find a way. How can I automate it? There's things that you could do to try to help automate the process. Again, there's always stuff if you really dig into it, but that's kind of my idea. Whenever I say don't learn too much code. That's kind of what I mean by it, right? Like, don't we always learn. Even to this day, I've been coding for some years now, and I'm still learning. There's always new things to learn. So that's not what I mean. But in the same time, I could tell you right now, a lot of my learning comes from learn as I need. It's very rare that I'm just learning to learn something new. Unless it's something because I'm going to use some kind of new framework or something of that sort, right? But besides that, and the reason why I say very rare, because I'm always learning something, but I always have a need. Maybe I'm working on a new project with this new functionality that I've never done before. So I'm learning, you know, that aspect of the development, right? Or the engineering aspect of it. There's always something new. And that's, you know, again, you want to get to that point, but until you get to that point, learn basics, fundamentals, try to learn all of that, and then start finding ways to utilize what you learn. And again, even if you're not in a software developer role in your current job, wherever you work, find ways, dude. I'm pretty sure you look deeply enough, you'll find certain things that are not ideal. They're not automated. Even if you build apps that are going to be just for you, but for where you're currently working at, that could help you speed up the process, right? If you're doing a lot of data entry, how can I automate it where instead of taking me 2 hours a day, it takes me 10 minutes? Something, right? There's things like that you could do, and of course you'll start getting better because you'll start doing you start solving real world problems, man. Real world problems. So that's my take on that, man. I really tell people all the time, and I try to push people, like, there's a stage of learning, but I feel sometimes, especially when you're new in the industry and like you're trying to get your foot in the door, what happens, you learn way too much. You spend months and months and months of just learning. Just keep working on these tutorials, and that's not good, man. I don't think it's good at all. There's a point you gotta stop, say, you know what, let me start building some shit, right? Start building, and then, you know, find problems to solve, right? That's what engineers do. Find problems, solve problems. Maybe it's personal, you know, task and automation stuff you're trying to do internally. Maybe it's problem that you're trying to solve for the company you work for today, even though it's not in the IT field, and that's fine. You know, you may be working operations or in sales, and that's cool. Find a way that you could use and build some sort of automation or an app or something, right? That's how you're really going to expand your knowledge and grow, in my opinion anyways. So hopefully that's just a little quick insight of, you know, don't learn too much code. You know, get your hands, get dirty, dig in, find problems to solve, and hopefully that helps out. Again, guys, appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Give me a like, give me a follow, and peace.